Hello, and thanks for staying with us on Africa Independent Television, AIT. This is the signature show, an Independence Anniversary Edition. I'm Mwabuzi Njoko. Now, last Sunday, I raised two issues which I said should be of concern to President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, these issues are the address by a socio-cultural group in Adamawa State, Pene da Voitier, presented when Vice President Yemi Oshibajo flagged off the National Livestock Transformation Program in that state. Now, the issue raised in the address by that group revolved around land ownership, management, utilization, and allocation of land to Fulanis in northern Nigeria. The second is the alleged vindictive and corrupt application of the ban on importation of foreign rice. Customs officials are allegedly using the ban to kill local rice distribution businesses of our indigenous companies, which are providing clean, patriotic competition for dubious foreign rice importers who now feel threatened by the ban on imported rice. A case of abuse of the position of the customs officials, if not outright criminal sabotage of government's well-intended policy. The president, I said so last Sunday. Now this Sunday, I will borrow from the president's jocular comment at the First Minister's retreat in President Buhari's first term. He referred to Abba Kyari, his chief of staff, as the presidency. Now, in interpreting that jocular name, I wish to call Abba Kyari, who I just got to remember was my boss in the Democrat newspapers, where I was Senate correspondent and subsequently State House correspondent after the coup of 1983. That I will call him this afternoon conscience of the Buhari administration. In that capacity, I'd want to draw his attention to the picture we are about to see now. These are the faces of 6 young Igbo Nigerians who 14 years ago were murdered by some police officers. In a rather convoluted trial, which the police seemed to have elected right from the onset to bungle, the court could not determine who pulled the trigger. Now, some of those implicated in those murders have since been promoted with the blood of those children on their hands into positions that could even make them Inspector General of Police in Nigeria. Now, one of those who never showed up in the entire trial, but rather chose to go into hiding, still remains in the police force today. And I'm told that they simply took off to Niger Republic, kept away from the media and the public, kept receiving his salary while he was on a wall, and was quietly smuggled back into the Criminal Investigation Department of Nigeria Police, where he did not wear police uniform. Now, an online publication, pointblanknews.com, has located him. He is former Garki Divisional Police Officer in the FCT, Chief Superintendent of Police, Othman Abdusalam. And he is now the chief driver to Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, who is aspiring to becoming Nigeria's president. My boss, Abba Kyari, our conscience, you know the full story of Apple 6. You must have read how the only girl among them, Augustina Arebu, was strangled to death at the Garki police station when she did not die from being shot. You may have read all the stories of false accusation that these young Nigerians were armed robbers who at the time they were being shot did not have stakes on them. And now a governor is keeping one of those who avoided trial as his chief driver. Did Usman Danfodio say that conscience is an open wound which only truth can heal? Is there a conscience, a national conscience, that can be healed by addressing the truth in this instance? As I appeal to our conscience as Nigeria prepares to celebrate its 59th independence anniversary, we must pause and also look at these primary school structures and their environment and what they are doing to the future of this country. Lastly, this Sunday, before we bring you our conversation, which as I told you earlier, will come from our archives on critical contributions by some very eminent and prominent Nigerians on challenges to our national development, let me tell you that I love members of the Anambra State House of Assembly. Yes, I do. Who have refused a scandalous offer by Governor Willie Obiano to ruin the Anambra State economy, apparently, by purchasing imported Prado jeeps worth over 1 billion naira for the oversight functions of the legislators. Each of the jeeps is to cost 30 million naira. The House members, instead, are advising Governor Willie Obiano to please go buy vehicles from Innocent Motors Manufacturing Company right there in Nnewi, Anambra State. But did anybody really need to have advised the governor that his proposal amounted to working against the very economy that is superintending over? Anyway, some Nigerians have been weighing in and speaking on this inexplicable move to purchase these cars by the governor.
Governor Willie Obiano, maybe being the governor, must have thought out reasons why he was offering them, he was giving them the offer. So I cannot fault, I don't know why, but I can tell you that the governor is not the first and it's not going to be the last that has done that. Go to all the states, that's what they do. Just to get the support of the House of Assembly.
For a governor to say he wants to give out jeep that cost about 30 million to each of House member, to me is more or less corruption because of the amount involved. Members of the House, they already have their vehicles before now, And there are a lot of things that one can still do that they need money to do in the states than buying vehicle in the first place. Now, if you must even buy a vehicle, you shouldn't go to the extent of buying a vehicle that is as expensive as 30 million per one. Other angle to it is that if you buy a vehicle of 30 million to, I don't know how many they are in numbers, let's say maybe 15, such an amount, they have area councils or local government, as they call it on state, whatever. They have many things that ought to be done. There are less privileged people that they can improve on their life. We are talking about farming now. They can even invest such money into farming that people will benefit than buying huge amount of vehicle for individual of few numbers of people. Two, if those people collect the vehicle, they should as well take it as in they've sold out their conscience. Because somebody will give me a vehicle of 30 million. There is no way when you give me a vehicle of 30 million, you tell me something tomorrow that I will be able to say no, even if what you're saying is wrong. So one, everybody work with their conscience. Two, that step in the real sense is wrong. It's wrong, and I see corruption in it. Even him trying to do a thing like that, because they cannot tell me vehicle of 30 million. One, maybe the amount of the vehicle is not even up to 30 million. Or if they approve 30 million, automatically what will go out from the treasury of the state is more than 30 million. So it doesn't worth it.
I would not, because in recent times we have seen the leadership of our country talk about buying our own homemade products, and we have a son of the soil, Innocent, producing jeeps, and in fact they've gone places with what they are doing. They are coming up with innovations. So I think as a governor, he should be able to patronize his own. And since the House members are not even enthusiastic about him getting the Prado Jeep for them, I think he should now look homeward.
Very fantastic. That if you can see that would be the very first of the sharing news that is going to come from, that is coming from any House of Assembly. That House of Assembly is rejecting a foreign vehicle and going for local one. It's very rare in the history of politics in Nigeria since 1999. I commend them. It means that they have the interests of the state at heart, because they are trying to waive some of their rights, right to good things, better things, just for the sake of the states. I think it's the best way. I just hope that other state assembly and even National Assembly can learn from House of Assembly members of Anambra State.
Yes, that's thinking in the right direction. It's just unfortunate that our people in government, they will be the ones that will say, promote made in Nigerian goods, made in Nigerian products. But the person telling you to promote, when you even check what they put on from their shirt to their shoe, you will discover that it's made in Italy, made in wherever. Innocent Motor, as far as I'm concerned, I've seen the product, even if I don't have one. I watch some advertisements on television, you will see some GIFs, they will say Innocent Motor. I don't even believe something like this could be produced in this country. Now, government should lay a good example by patronizing our own locally made vehicle. Even aside of talking about vehicle, any product that is made in Nigeria, when I see you at the top there using it, it will motivate me to go for it.
It's a welcome development because they represent the people. It means that the people have spoken. And when the people speak about something, you should think wise as a governor, because he was elected by the people, and when the people take a decision on a policy he wants to promote, he should know that the people have spoken and he should retrace his step. Because yes, we know nobody is perfect. He is fallible. He can make mistakes, and those mistakes are correctable. So now that they've rejected it, he should retrace his step and correct those mistakes, so that the people would come back to appreciate what he's doing.
If state government in the southeast, um, patronize innocent motors, first it will be to the interest of innocent motors. It will be to the interest of the state and the people. So we are also expecting for investment to come and invest in Nigeria, and we have our own. We are not patronizing them. How can we rationalize that? So I think all these other state assembly members and should begin to queue and take correction from Anambra State House of Assembly by ensuring that goods that are locally made are patronized, so that we can have the opportunity to expand the industries locally, and then have opportunity to employ this our Timiami youths roaming the streets.
Just as I've said, states that patronize foreign cars, we are killing our own economy, and we are allowing more, how will I call it, we are not giving room for job creation, because the bottom line remains, if we patronize our locally made goods, it will create job for me and you. I may say I have something I'm doing today, but I may have one brother there at home that has become a liability on me. Such thing will create room for him to start making, ends meet on his own. So it's very, very good if we can start patronizing our locally made goods.
All the government officials, like I said earlier, should patronize our own. It will create jobs. Imagine if Innocent, or maybe even a new competitor, must not be somebody from the east. He should challenge somebody from the north, also from the south, to also bring an assembling plant in their location, so that other government will patronize. It will create employment for our people. And what we are talking about is keeping our money in Nigeria, not ferrying out our money. We are already crying that our oils are being refined outside and brought back, that is enough expenses for Nigeria. Now we are carrying our money to go and buy vehicles that we already have here. So we think the people have had enough, and it should get better going forward.
Well, in the spirit of the Independence Anniversary celebration, you can see the way I'm attired. We will, in subsequent editions of this program, interrogate some issues bordering on Nigeria's development. Now, this Sunday, we will recall the positions, as I said, of some of our prominent Nigerians on, one, the need to enthrone merit in national affairs. Secondly, the need to walk the talk instead of praying all along while our actions undermine national growth, national progress, and the challenges of collapsed ethics and values, a situation which stunts national development and national growth. These, as I said earlier, are from our archives.
But what I tell people is that the nation is a large family. And unless you imbibe that concept that you live in a family, howbeit large, you may not accept the challenges that each family member brings to the entire family. If you look at yourself as just a section, you may not appreciate the great potentials other members of the family bring to the family, more especially if you concentrate more on their weaknesses alone. In a nuclear family, the Almighty God, being who He is, has made it that every person is an individual. There is one thing that distinguishes one individual from the other. If that person was not different, was not an individual, God would not have created him or her, because he would have been surplus. So in a large entity called Nigeria, we have people with different potentials, different abilities, different disabilities. But unfortunately, I doubt whether we have arrived at possessing commensurate capacity to deal with these differences and harness the potentials of the differences instead of suffering from the deficiencies of the differences.
Nigeria, relatively, is a poor country, but relatively also is a rich country. And therefore, if we can use our resources effectively and efficiently, we think that resources can actually respond to a lot of the problems, whether in education, in health, roads, and all kinds of things and other things. So we thought that probably focusing on accountability and anti-corruption probably is what we may be able to contribute, because we will not be able to build all the roads. We will not be able to buy all the AK-47s for the military to fight. We will not be able to build schools. We may not be able to buy all the health centers and other things. But if we can contribute towards reducing corruption and improving accountability, and if government can effectively utilize its own resources, then we will be able to contribute towards improving the quality of lives of Nigerian citizens. So I think we are also very much worried that, if you look at the government approach to anti-corruption, primarily it's a law and order kind of approach. Law and order kind of approach in the sense that there's a lot of emphasis on government, people who are arrested, people who are prosecution, and all kinds of things that's happening. And this is critical. It's very important, okay? But I think the question about the orientation and reorientation of Nigerians is critical and very important. What is our attitude to corruption? What are the moral norms that we take or not? What is our own behavior towards corruption and things? So I think that as we are fighting corruption at the basis of the law and order, prosecutions, arrests, forfeitures and other things, which is very important, we should also be thinking about how do we reorient the young Nigerian, the child who is born today, to know that actually corruption is bad. Because if you look at the resources of the Nigerian government that is there, if we can effectively use it, and if we can gradually use it to provide what is supposed to be provided, then we will see that our society will be much, much, much more better. Our children will go to the same public school that I and you went into. They will be able to go to the primary health care center that me and you went to, But now, even our drivers, unless they don't send their own children to public schools. So what kind of society are we creating of inequality? And any society that is based on that kind of inequality is doomed to have violence. It's going, because the people who you have deprived will not just allow you like that.
With time.
They will wake up. They may not come to you directly, but it will come indirectly. Now look at all the big people that cannot take all their big cars between Abuja and Kaduna. They have to go and take train in order for them to go between those two cities. So although they may amass all the wealth that they have, but even for them to drive between those two major cities has become a problem for them. So it is in our own interest, as a country and other things, that we ensure that we contribute towards improving the quality of lives of our ordinary citizens.
What prayer does is to expose us to the will of God. Because the grace of God is already abundant. It's flowing everywhere. Now, the prayer we pray is to help us to understand the will of God. If you are an engineer, a civil engineer, the government has given you a contract. Tie this road from Abuja to Suleja. You don't need President Buhari to come and start flogging you to do it.
Or prayer to get.
Or to go and be praying, God tie this road. No, you are an engineer. Use your brain, use your skill. Why is it that Nigeria bring in expatriates to come and do, even to get even in the field of football, they want an expatriate to come and be a referee. I mean a coach. Because we don't trust in ourselves. The first time I saw the bridge that was designed in Atlanta by Nigeria, I said, my God. Today we have parents who want to take care of their children from womb to tomb. Parents don't allow their children to be independent anymore. They spoil their children. Egao, egao, egano lelo mogbomo tuani, ubonero more yomo, ozo yaimi, ubonero more yomo, ozo yuwena, oriti keki yomo wa, omodeyo, egao, egae, egano lelo mogbomo tuani. What am I saying? I too suffer. I suffered as a young man. My children will never suffer. Then the children grow up to become rotten eggs. So we had change in our value system. And that is why today, what do we need to get to that destiny of Nigeria, great nation? Dora Akuyele wanted to rebrand Nigeria. He died without achieving that goal or without reaching that goal. So we should stop blaming the political leadership alone. Parents have failed in parenting. The societies have failed. Even our traditional rulers need some mental re-engineering. Do I know? You know why I say that? These are the custodians of our culture, custom, that which bring us together. And the greatest value the African has that no other nation can have is the value of community.
I'm very worried, just like many other Nigerians are worried. Perhaps I'm even more worried because I belonged to a generation that has seen a united Nigeria that has been the pride of all those that witnessed the Nigeria of that period, giving to its citizens what every country should give to its citizens, and the citizens giving back to the country what every citizen should give to his nation. I'm worried, and very much so, that what our forefathers had founded and had bequeathed to the subsequent leadership at independence and immediately after the post-independence period have completely been washed down the drain. And this is a very recent phenomenon. When I mean recent, it is not even up to a generation. I'm worried that our national fault lines are actually being overblown to a point where instead of facing our routine national development and nation building challenges, we are being distracted, we are being swallowed by petty issues that undermine national growth and development. What do I mean? Our fault lines are real. They are real. That I am Hausa Fulani and a Muslim is real. That we are from the south and a Christian is real. That we are from the southern part of the country is real. But there is actually something which passes through all of us that give us character, that defines us, that give us identification, that give us a sense of belonging, that gives us some a kind of a familiar, that defines our culture, that defines our oneness, that defines our common vision, that defines our common mission, that defines our common aspiration, and that is the Nigerianness in all of us, which unfortunately is now being jettisoned and kept aside. And what we are now putting a lot of attention on are the petty issues of ethnicity, of religion, which tend to undermine not even national growth and development, but even the growth of the individual person. I'm worried. So what you are seeing as part of the problems now that is giving us a lot of worry and concern is the very fact that both the system and the structure of the society are composed in such a way that they do not engender social justice, they do not engender fairness and equity in a society this plural, this complex, but a society whose plurality and whose complexity should have been its basis of strength. Now it has become its own bane, and therefore it has become its Achilles' heels, and that is why its journey towards progress is being stifled and drawn back. The family values must have to be reinvigorated, rejuvenated, and be made to work. We have a system in an environment where parents hardly, or many parents hardly parent these days, because they also have become victims of the same environment under which they operate. When parents go to the very ridiculous point, of hiring surrogate examiners to run examination for their children in school, this is not a family value under which a child that aspires to be a functional citizen, or that should grow up to be a functional, useful, patriotic citizen, should be brought up. Now, because of the decay in the family values, the community is also by extension affected, because we are losing gradually our sense of community, sense of commonality, our sense of love, and therefore this idea of what defines give or do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. This simple principle of life that are endemic in us as Africans, endemic in us as Nigerians, endemic in us as cultural groups, are fading. So unless we rebuild family values and we make the family the unit of the inculcation of what is required to build the child into a citizen that will be proud, the pride of the parent and of the country, then we're in a problem. Leadership must be seen to be honest, with high sense of integrity, must be seen to be exemplary, and also must be seen to be accountable. When I and you go to school and you end up to be a better student than I am, and you go to the university and you graduate and you find a normal job in the civil service or anywhere and you are growing steadily, I that happen to be the weaker of all the members of the class fell out or fall out of the system, couldn't go further with my education, and then eventually end up either as an associate of somebody in a community whose wealth is being flaunted, but when the community is not asking the source of that wealth. And eventually I become a surrogate and I'm being sponsored to become a politician, a councillor, a local government chairman, a member of the House of Assembly or whatever. A year or two later, my entire lifestyle changes. That of my immediate family changes. The community from where I come that knows me, knows my parents, knows my antecedents, sees me with all the new wealth that I begin to plant on their face without asking, but instead that same community begins to worship and to kowtow. That is something wrong. This is not the values that build our Nigeria of the past. These were not the values that built I and you. These are not the values that made us to follow our parents with our small axe or our small cutlasses or our small horse to the farm, through which the principle or the virtue of hard work was instilled into us. The politicians, I want to say that even if they are not number one on the ranking of part of our problems, they largely are responsible for some of the things we see. One, the present crop of politicians that we see are completely way away from the kind of politicians that we had seen in the First and in the Second Republic. Yes, the environment has changed. Yes, the dynamics have changed. But the principles of public service remain the same. We had seen in our politicians of the First and the Second Republic selflessness, commitment to public service, accountability, openness. Today, and we have seen in our founding fathers mainly statements at critical points of our national development when interventions were needed, and they intervened forcefully. in the larger interest of the country and not from small, petty partisan concerns. But there are moments when, as politicians, they kept away partisanship and actually looked at the larger interest of the country, not any longer. When the politician wants to cultivate number, when he wants to cultivate number for self-serving purposes, he goes to religious and goes to a religious constituency to engender and ignite a religious emotion. When the politician wants to cultivate emotions and wants to wants to build and insulate himself from large good, he goes to an ethnic constituency. And that is why all of us, I say all of us, now become people who share in this problem. When we begin to call criminals in different names other than what they are, criminals. When we begin to see corrupt people other than what they are, corrupt people, criminals, therefore, who should be dealt with in accordance with the law. We have sunk so low as to say, okay, yes, citizen A is corrupt and is a criminal and is a thief, but he's our thief. There is no society that can descend this low and they expect to be on the path to national development and growth.
Well, as I wish all of us happy Independence Anniversary celebration, remember that challenges to Nigeria's development arise from individual actions or failure to act. Examine yourself and find yourself either guilty or free from being a part of Nigeria's problems in whatever capacity or station you may find yourself. Good afternoon. Happy Independence Anniversary celebration. I am Nwabuozi Njoku.
And Nakuna salute say welcome come corruption tori for today. Corruption tori na the program where we for the torchlight different corruption matter for we country. My name na Ufuma Eguriase. My people, we Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC they find justice up and down for one Mr. Gunter Uche Maduike. The commission still they seek justice for Nigeria sake of one lawyer Taufik Oladipo Elias don't finish the matter of trust for we head pata. According to EFCC, this lawyer Taufik Oladipo Elias Naim Uche Maduike meet beg and say abego help me sell this my property for Obalende Lagos. He trust this man say na lawyer. Now the work where they do. We make him give this man the work. But according by EFCC, this lawyer Taufik sell the house, come collect the 20.4 million naira we come out for the sale, shocking am put for pocket jejely like say na him get house. Come gbase go like ghost. To. Na our tori for today be this. With EFCC for Lagos on Thursday, August 22, 2019, dragged this lawyer Taofeek Oladipo Elias go front of Justice Hakeem Oshodi for Lagos State High Court with 2-count charge of thief of 20.4 million naira.
Anybody wey you fit trust, na person wey you fit leave everything wey you get for the person hand. If you leave your money, if you leave your wife, if you leave anybody for your hand, if you trust the person. You as a client, they go take advantage of you. They go fit collect money for your hand. They go fit even tell you, make you tell lie because you don't really understand. But the solution to this one is to make you as a client try to understand some of these things by yourself. So that when the lawyer, if you know the law, even anything where your lawyer they talk, you self go fit ask them, you go fit challenge them.
It will affect the profession in many ways. You cannot connect job to the person or give person a trust to trust the person anymore. You will see the person as a corrupt person. Indeed, it's a corrupt person.
So what you go fit talk say some lawyers now because say their clients no law. They come they do magu for them because they know law pass them. What you go talk about that?
That's why I'm not sure that corruption anyway. And again, the person is betraying himself because anybody will say the thing way he do, no they trust the person again. And myself, if you ask me of the person, I'll tell you not to do any business with the person otherwise because I do not trust him. They have cheated his profession. According
by EFCC, one Mr. Gunter Uche Maduike reason am say this lawyer suppose get the right mind and skill to sell property for him. He trust the man, come give him the property for Obalende, Lagos, make he sell. But after he sell the property, Barrister Taofeek no gree give the money to owner of property Uche Maduike.
This is not the biggest problem we will get for our country. Lawyers, a lot of lawyers do this thing. Every time they take advantage of their vulnerable and of course their vulnerable clients because they know say these clients don't know this thing. And so they will take some things and hide some things from the client. They know say that's going to affect the client. They know say sometimes the clients don't get better case because of how their case did. But lawyers go take advantage because they know say this people don't know this law. So the thing they affect well. And this is they make a lot of person enter jail. You go see the lawyer, what's in concern in your own pocket, may invest chop because you go pay me appearance fee. Anytime you go, you go pay me appearance fee. That is what's in their concern. They don't want the professional for that their job. They call them learned colleagues. It is not their job for them to advise their clients, but they will take advantage because of the client don't know. And so this thing they affect a lot of persons. It they make us self, make people not trust any lawyer these days again. Lawyer na human being like you, if you run with your money. So you will look for how to checkmate that by either giving your own account number or collecting the cash by yourself.
My brother, me and you we do business for many years now. Once I trust you. In fact, I feel if you know anything you do about the business. Once I see what I get. But when the source not there, the business will destroy. In fact, I go commot the money. I go commot the money where I use for that business for different things. Now we say the business go fall. But if the trust there, I feel if you collect money from someone, come put out for that business. Because I trust that I trust you. And that trust will make the business grow more higher. If anything happens, I don't go mind. Once I trust you. If you do business, if business is bad, I don't go mind. But if I do business is good. And I know I don't trust you. I'm my brother, I go think twice.
Anybody you trust, you be like saying that the person is your brother or sister. So not trust an unknown person. So the person you must trust must be a person you take as a brother.
When they read this charge given, Barrister Taofeek Oladipo Elias says Sam ain't no dey guilty. The lawyer wey the prosecutor ask make court give date when them go start trial proper because them don't do gather evidence say Taofeek dey over guilty safe. He still ask say make court hold am for prison first till the trial go start.
No lawyer, a pity lawyer. This way a pity lawyer they talk say lawyer dey lie. I know say lawyer dey lie. So that trust, we go make me no think say lawyer dey lie na say if I give you anything do am well for me so that you know that profession go up well. But one person we all know say lawyer dey lie. I still can't dupe me. I lose trust in you. Oh my God! No matter if the sun go come down. Because I go take lawyer against you, I go take him against you, I go take lawyer like you, I go take him against you. So let me say that profession, that one what the key profession. That what the key profession. That's lawyer law. Because see message is not because the smart time go say you no get it because they know say you know many people know they don't get trust in him.
Lawyers, a lot of lawyers do this thing. Every time they take advantage of their vulnerable and of course their vulnerable clients because they know say this client don't know this thing, and so they will take some things and hide some things from the client. They know say that thing will affect the client. They know say sometimes the clients don't get better case because of how their case dey. But lawyers go take advantage because they know say this people don't know this law. So the thing they affect well. And this thing they make a lot of person enter jail. You go see the lawyer, what's in concern in your own pocket, may in chop because you go pay me appearance fee. Anytime you go, you go pay me appearance fee. That is what they're concerned. They don't want the professional for that their job. They call them learned colleagues. It is not their job for them to advise their clients, but they will take advantage because of the client no know. And so this thing they affect a lot of persons. It they make us safe, make we will not trust any lawyer these days again. We only live by the grace of God.
We are not sure that corruption anyway, and again, the person is betraying himself because anybody will say the thing way he do, no they trust the person again. And myself, if you ask me of the person, I will tell you not to do any business with the person otherwise because I do not trust him. They have cheated his profession.
To show say he don't even dey prepare the money for bail, Taofik lawyer Omolola Sata tell court say he don't file motion for bail since July 22nd, 2019.
That is a cheat, no? It is too, in fact, corruption. I will call it corruption. It is not good at all. Because using your address, your position as a lawyer and get granted because of say that the person where they judge the case now your colleague or the same profession with you and you don't release the case as supposed to be. Pure corruption.
If a lawyer when supposed to be the rope, you know, of everybody in time when he do bad thing, if a lawyer no go fit take advantage, if a lawyer no get integrity, then we will get integrity again now. So that's in a very, very big problem. That professional now, when I trust, I employ him as my lawyer, for example, I trust the person. Why I trust the person is because anything I say, I believe that the person is supposed to use her to the benefit of me. And so if he can't betray me like that, I don't lose everything with that now. Who can defend me again? Self-recognition, the court know him. So they go grant them bail because they know him. And they know where to find them. That is why, that's now why they go give them bail. Now based on self-recognition. Not only lawyers, they give bail to anybody who, they give bail to politicians based on self-recognition.
That is a cheat, no? It is too, in fact, corruption. I will call it corruption. It is not good at all. Because using your address, your position as a lawyer and get granted because of say that the person where they judge the case now your colleague or the same profession with you and you do not release the case as supposed to be. Pure corruption.
Let me say if person dupe me, instead me I go to lawyer. If I get power, you know that what you call assassination now. That is what you call assassination. See that kind of person, I carry my property give you. You sell them, no give me my money. Then we then take you to court, they free you. That's to assassinate you, that's to kill you. But the most important thing I say, well, the point of lawyer I say, if you do something bad to me, now lawyer, now go look through their own records. Say, myself, what to do this man no good though. You're not supposed to do it this way. So that lawyer, when we say they see grand pay, that one a very bad thing. That will destroy, you know, that legal, system. It destroyed that legal system. Because not be say because we be friends now, do something bad. I can't hold you. No. Let me say I won't make person still continue. They're supposed to make them. make I know say me say wetin you do, you no dey do am, you no go kill this profession. We no go kill this profession. So they suppose at least act on them accordingly. Make they do what they suppose do. Because other people say, other lawyers say, go no say no. We no suppose do this way. Make no do this way.
Justice Oshodi gree say make them bail Taofeek Oladipo Elias as dem kuku recognize am well, but dem go collect im international passport and im birth certificate keep. Una know say many people dey depend on lawyer to help them do all this legal matter, especially the one wey get to do with property. After all, na property lawyer work be that. But if EFCC make sure say dem declare this lawyer guilty, come put am for prison, e no mean say people go come dey fear to give lawyer this kind work again. Plus including innocent and good lawyer sef, who know the one wey get fraud for face. This one no be spoiling of other people work chop so. Haba, my people, na here our tori reach for today o. Titi reach when we go carry another corruption tori come again. Abeg, make una no forget to say, na clean money wey comot for inside clean and true hustle, na sweet to chop pass. Make we no take our own take spoil other people. My name na Ufuoma Eguriase. Una bye bye yo.